Hey, Shalom. Kal halalim la Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakaha Kodash, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone that rule well. Shalom to the prophets of that body. Shalom to the 144,001 third. May peace and blessings and the spirit of endurance be upon you and your households. Okay, whoever you are. All right, may peace and blessings be upon you and your households. All right. Now, you know, everything is orchestrated by Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. There's a specific timeline, and the Lord does things in a certain way. The hopeful elect are hoping that this kingdom falls ASAP, meaning as soon as possible. But on the left-hand side, the Lord, right, is making these devils feel confident because the Lord deals with the right-hand side and the left-hand side. There is no war between God and Satan. Okay, Satan is an employee of Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai. Isaiah 45 verse 7, the Lord deals with the right-hand side and the left-hand side. So the Lord is going to do things where we're hoping the Strait of Hormuz, for example, stayed shut. And the Lord allowed that to be opened, I believe, right? I haven't dived in depth into the story yet, but from what I've seen so far, okay? And this is like, Esau, Edom talking about the end of the world and the year 2000 and blah, blah, blah. And, then people get ready and prepped up and then, they get like excited, but something's going to happen and then it doesn't happen. Something's going to happen, then it doesn't happen. Something's going to happen, then it doesn't happen. All right? Which alludes to another scripture, which I believe is, though they say peace and safety, just bear with me. I'm just going to go on my phone so I don't lose my train of thought. Though they say peace and safety, King James Version. One second. Yeah, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. That's 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3 in the King James Version, right? Which is the closest to the Lashon Kodash, meaning the Hebrew. So a lot of people are thinking that, okay, somehow, some way, America, the world will go back to a normal, stable, somewhat what they assume is stable condition, which is not going to happen. Okay. Now, the hopeful elect might get a little pissed off, thinking, we want this MF to fall as soon as possible. We want the prophecies just to happen, boom, 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 boom. But they are happening. All right. What these things also push as well is faith. Okay. And the fact that the hopeful elect, regardless of how Yahweh Bashim Yeshua is doing and how long the Lord will take to do it, the hopeful elect are going to keep believing. Okay, this is also going to make the unelect fall out of the truth as well. Okay, meaning that they are going to get tired and sick and tired of prophecies coming out, but nothing is moving from their point of view. Like, for example, the Strait of Hormuz is opened up. That's an example. Or society hasn't completely crashed yet. That's another example. So people are saying, "Oh, yeah, the scriptures aren't true. It's just scared." Whatever people believe, especially Jake and the truth, right? That means they weren't part of the truth anyway, so they're going to fall out. But the elect are going to still believe because we know this is prophecy. Okay, we know the Lord works on the right hand side and the left hand side to do things the way the Lord wants to do it, and also keep pumping these heathens up, making them feel that the world is going to come to a normal stage, because there's nothing like by whooping somebody's backside hardcore and humbling them, especially when they're so pumped up with pride, especially with Esau, Edom, right? That's how the Lord wants to build up this devil's pride and feel that they can actually do something, and the Lord Yahweh Hashem is going to smack them down, knuckle straight to that nose, bang, knock them down, and so this is also gonna build up the faith of the elect, and also the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is moving, you know, moving the chess pieces around for things to happen how the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai wants it to happen. But we are at the end, okay? And sometimes, these things happen because whatever the reason is ultimately also to give Esau, Edom other time, few seconds in other areas to improve. Maybe they want to improve their charagma, whatever it could be. I'm just thinking out of the box, all right? But the main thing is, this is all about faith. If you can hold on, even when things you assume are not moving fast enough, you've got to hold on, all right? All right, because the elect, right, don't focus on the things that are seen. The elect are focusing on the things that are unseen. The kingdom, that's the kingdom. Let me get that scripture up, right? The things that are unseen are eternal things. Because the elect look at the bigger picture, all right? 2 Corinthians 4:18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, this kingdom, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Okay, that's 2 Corinthians 4:18. This is a temporal kingdom. We are approaching the 250th year. This is the 250th year, right? And are you telling me, right? Because this kingdom can only go on, basically this kingdom is like a car, right? It's got the last $5 left of fuel, or £5 left of fuel in there. The gauge is real low. It's on the red, but the car's still just moving on fumes. This kingdom is on fumes right now. Plus, we're approaching July, which I believe is like the anniversary, or whatever you call it, the 250th year. And this is a temporal kingdom. This kingdom was not meant to be eternal, not be here forever. Okay, we are at the feet of that dream in the book of Daniel, concrete and iron. All right, this is it. And it's crumbling the same way all these roads are. And I know in America your roads are effed up the same way they are in the UK, even in the so-called OK neighborhoods. All right, so we are literally seeing this kingdom crumble. So don't get disheartened. All right, I was kind of pissed off when I saw it. Strait of Hormuz opened up. Yeah, okay, cool. That's another test of faith. Because with this opening up and things not happening fast enough, there's a lot of Jake out there that are gonna fall out of the truth. And there's a lot of Jake that we're beginning to believe are going to fall out. But that's because they want the elect anyway. And then a lot of heathens, which we don't give a shit about, they're going to feel that America's going to get bounced back somehow. Okay, especially those are the ones that are so-called a little bit getting by, the ones that have a little bit more money. All right, but for the most part, the world is, in disarray and crying and bitching and moaning, Israelites as well as a heathen. Okay, and it's not going to bounce back. All right. Hebrews 11 verse 1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. We know it's going to happen. We know this kingdom's going to end. It can't go on forever. All this faggotry and demonistic shit. All this satanist, satanic shit. Okay. These fruit parades. It can only go on for long enough. It's not going to go on forever. Okay. It's like a bully bullying you. Right? You're in the school playground every day. The bully is whooping you every lunchtime. Gets you in the corner, starts, giving you uppercuts, starts, punching your ribs, your stomach, your back, kicking you. There's only so long until the spirit jumps on that child to start fighting back. Okay? And it's, and it's only so long this kingdom can go on like this, punching 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 the world with their evil jabs, right? The Lord is tired of this heathenistic kingdom pushing their evil agenda and the satanic ways, jabbing life forms with the evilness, jabbing humankind with the evilness, jabbing the earth, the air with the evilness. All right, if evilness is even a word, I'm just saying, there's only so long. So the heathen is going to get caught off guard as well. Thinking, everything's going to go back to normal. The price of gas is going to go back to normal. There's not going to be no climate lockdown. The high streets and the boardwalks are going to be packed again. You know, that's what they're going to assume, and it might go like that to a certain degree in certain areas around the world, giving you the illusion that everything might go back to normal. You know, barbecues playing, 90s music in the background. You know, 60s and 70s music in the background. You know, people wearing their shorts and the clean Nikes, the Air Force Ones. You know, their breezy shirts on, sunglasses on, thinking that everything's gonna be hunky dory. Okay, but then that sudden destruction will come, and it's coming. All right, okay. All these, all these brain CHIP trials are not being done for no damn reason. They were successful in America. They're successful in the UK last year, and as of January 2026, it says here that 7 patients in the UK are participating in the GB Prime study involving Neuralink's brain computer interface (BCI). Surgeries took place at UCLH's National Hospital for Neurology and Neurosurgery and Newcastle upon Tyne hospitals, enabling paralyzed patients to control computers and mobile devices with their thoughts. This is that left-hand side spiritual power. Okay, and this is going to be for a lot of people that want that extra brain power, the ones that have the dough. Esau might say, okay, if you want to enhance your neurological capabilities or your physical capabilities, even if you're so-called able-bodied, you can have this surgery done. So people come, if they want to be like a little Captain America, they can. They can run faster, enhance themselves, you know, uh, make their brain a little faster, you know. And if they want to be a music composer, maybe they can have their brain enhanced so they can see all the sounds and see all the notes in colors, you know. Whatever they want to do, there's going to be that factor. This is going to pull a lot of people to take it in, and also people that are not even able-bodied to take the charagma. Okay, charagma meaning the mark, the MOTB, the mark of the BEAST, Revelation 13:16, and also the biggest kicker, the one that's going to grab everybody by the you know what, right, is going to be when the financial infrastructure crashes, and to hold on to their home, to pay their bills, to look after their wife, their children, okay, their grandchildren, you know, to keep that roof, to keep the bread and meat on the table, you know, have the water to wash their backside, you know, that's going to be the biggest one. They've got brain CHIPs for every factor. Those that want to enhance themselves, the ones that haven't enhanced themselves, that are just that are in wheelchairs, that want to get back to so-called normal, and those that need it for what? For buying and selling. And they might even have one that'll have everything, all the factors covered. Some people might have it. I mean, people are already getting it. Like, you got magicians that are getting MOTBs in different parts of their body so they can do magic tricks. So there's all different types of areas and mindsets to cover this so-called miracle for people on the left-hand side of the fence. Okay, and those are people that are going to take the micro CHIP. Okay, they're not doing all these trials and tests for no damn reason. It's coming. All right, they've already told you when the C19 thing happened that cash is tainted or it's got disease or some shit to it, right? They're already getting rid of human people, actual humans at checkout counters in stores and shops. They've got the automated systems. They might have 2 people at a checkout counter, and the line might be like damn near 100 people on each queue. And a lot of people can say, you know what, F this. I don't want to use cash no more. I'm going to use a credit card or my debit card, and I'm going to go and pay at the unmanned checkout station, which will eventually push a lot of people for a time factor, because they can save damn near half an hour, 45 minutes of not being in the queue, or maybe even an hour, by paying on an automated system. So there's various factors, okay? And they're pushing all these things to piss people off, to crash out, for the destruction of the society, And I've got a theory as well, spiritual theory, that, I mean, I know Esau's doing it, pumping all these insects and rodents into certain areas as well. Probably like genetically modified, what do you call them, daddy long legs, those things that bite you, all these little bugs. All right. I can see, like a lot of surge of insects flying around in the atmosphere, things that I haven't seen. And I was born and raised in the UK, in the same part of London, you know, a good couple of decades. So I've seen the seasons and how things changed, and I've been noticing certain things, you know, and all these things are done collectively to piss people off, to make them crash out. Okay. People are already depressed. So there's so many factors. All right. The love of many is waxing cold. People crashing out. No money. People with money. People that are paraplegics. People that want to hold on to what they have. People that are going to lose their faith because the Strait of Hormuz is opened up. So there's so many factors. All right. Of people um, believing in Big Daddy Esau. All right. But the fact remains, the elect are going to have that faith, and we know these things are going to happen. All right. That's why patience is, you got to be patient in spirit, right? Let me get that scripture. One second. Then I'm going to read the article. Then there's a scripture that comes to mind. I'm not the best scripture guy. The Bible is such a beautiful, extensive, lovely. Oh, it's just beautiful, man. I can't express that. Everything's in the scriptures, man. Straight up, every answer. I can't wait, man. Lord willing, when you get that change, complete change, all this knowledge is in you, man. Knowing the Bible inside out in your mind and your spirit and body, it's beautiful, man. Where's that scripture? Where is it? Where is it? I think it's Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. Yeah, let's go to the King James version. Ecclesiastes. Come on, King James, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Just bear with me, Salakia. Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. Ecclesiastes 7 and 8, King James Version. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Okay? The elect are patient, man. All right? Yeah, you might get a little pissed off, but we know this is a test. Everything is a test. Okay? Ecclesiastes 7 and 9. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. Okay? Ecclesiastes 7 and 9. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. Okay? Anger rests in the bosom of fools. They're going to vex me. Oh, the Lord ain't working for us. I'm going to go back to the world. I'm going to be a singer. You know what? I'm going to buy, I'm going to aim to be the CEO of the company I'm working for because I'm already doing well. I'm hitting I'm hitting my numbers, whatever you're doing. I brought X amount of business in, or I do all my work in a timely fashion, and the powers that be within the organization are happy with me. You know what? I'm going to try and make my life great on this side. F the world. I'm going to just make sure that my little realm is okay. A lot of people are going to fall out. Okay, but we know these prophecies are going to come to pass, and it's happening. This is as of January 2026. Once the mark of the BEAST is implemented, right? All right. Okay, and once hell breaks loose as well, all right, in terms of race wars and just martial law and people fighting each other and all that. Jeremiah 30 verse 7 and Revelation 13:16. Revelation 11:14. Jacob's trouble, the mark of the BEAST, the mark of the, let's just say, mark of the beast. World War III, Revelation 11:14. Once a mark of the beast is implemented, Revelation 13:16, World War III is on. Once World War III is on and in full swing, Yahushua is returning. So we don't have long left here, all right? We do not have long left here. Okay, I said, okay? And even though hell breaks loose, because once, with all people crashing out and all this hell breaking loose, what's it going to bring? Destruction of society, and they're going to want to bring law and order in, martial law, greater control, mark of the beast, all these factors are coming together. All right, all hatred is being pushed on a high level. Usual suspect, usual suspect. Half of these videos are probably AI. For some reason, someone's always got a damn camera catching these people right in the act, like it's a professional, some kind of podcast or some shit. I don't know. Some of it's AI, some of it's real, some of it are crisis actors. It's a combination of everything, but it's all Yahweh Bashim Mashai and it's all prophecy. All right. Now, oh yeah, let me go to this article here. I was checking which countries around the world are doing the brain CHIP trials. All right. As of early 2026, Neuralink has expanded its human clinical trials for brain computer interface (BCI) technology beyond the United States because it's going when they want a new world order, enrolling a total of 21 participants worldwide. So they say it's probably more than that. Okay. The primary countries and regions involved in Neuralink trials as of 2026 include the United States, okay, Ground Zero Babylon, all right, Rome all over again, okay, the daughter of Babylon. The primary location for initial trials and the ongoing development of its telepathy device. See, they want to get this spiritual power on the left-hand side, all right, all they're ever going to be is a bunch of Batmans. They're not going to have no spiritual power. There'll never be a Kalel. Okay, only Kalels are Israelites. Okay, the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, and those of that royal lineage from the loins of Israelite men, the 12 tribes. Okay, no heathens. They're the only ones going to get real spiritual power on the right hand side. You crackers and heathens, all right. You can just take your CHIPs and see how high you can jump. United States, the primary location for initial trials and the ongoing development of its telepathy device with partners such as the Barrow Neurological Institute in Arizona, Canada, all right, a neighboring country. Beautiful country, by the way. In 2025, Neuralink performed its international procedures in Canada, all right, with patients at Toronto's University Health Network. I mean, they would go for Toronto because Toronto's got the largest population of Israelites. You got a lot of hoods up there as well. A lot of Benjamin and Levi, a lot of Judah, a lot of Israelite foreigners there as well. Tons of Israelite foreigners. I've been there. There's a lot of Israelite foreigners, especially in the 90s. Canada in 2025, Neuralink performed at its first international procedures in Canada with patients at Toronto's University Health Network, UHN, receiving implants for cervical spine cord injuries. All right. United Kingdom. Trials are active with partnerships at University College London Hospitals, UCLH, and Newcastle Hospitals. United Arab Emirates. Neuralink launched at its first Middle Eastern trial, the UAE Prime study at Cleveland Clinic, Abu Dhabi. All right. See, United States, Ground Zero Babylon. Canada, another powerful country, neighboring. United Kingdom, that is the old world merging with the new world order, right? The United Arab Emirates, another powerful land. Okay, so these are the major core countries, and a lot of other countries around Europe, Sweden and all that. I believe it's Sweden, where the micro C-hip is quite a popular thing. Japan, China, and all that. So it's coming, man. Let's go here. January 2026. There are now 7 patients participating in the Great Britain Prime study involving Neuralink's brain computer interface BCI technology, which aims to improve independence for people who are paralyzed. Okay, this is going to push a lot of people that imagine a mother, right, that has to constantly, a single mother for that matter, right, that has to constantly be at her child's beck and call. That could be may have some memory issues, or they have to look after maybe an elderly parent or grandparent that has what do you call it? What do you call that disease where they forget a lot? One second. They might be forgetful, right? Um, what do you call it? One second. What do you call the disease where the elderly forget a lot? Alzheimer's. Yeah. Oh no, dementia. Dementia. Right? Dementia. Yeah. What about elderly that have a lot of dementia? Right? It's gonna and the, or mothers that have to look after children that constantly need care. You got to wipe their backside even if they're 10 years old. They can't do it themselves. And if this will improve their chances of having so-called independence, so these ladies can go out and have so-called fun, right, and not be like constantly have like a child around their ankle like a ball and chain. The elderly that need caring for, all right, the elderly that need to be, or the elderly that want to use a certain portion of their savings, and they've signed a waiver with the help of their the children, because they want to be independent. They don't want to be put into an old people's home. They want to live in their apartment or their house. So they want to take a brain CHIP. All right. There's so many factors to entice people to take it. And then when the financial system crashes, because they want normalcy, they're going to take it. So a lot of people are going to take the CHIP, because remember, this world, a lot of people cannot see the unseen. Only the elect Israelites are focusing on the kingdom, which is unseen physically, but we can see it spiritually, because loosely paraphrasing the scripture again, right? The things of this world are temporal, all right? Let me get it actually. I have the phone. One second, I have my phone. I don't want to just sometimes, where is it? 2 Corinthians 4:18. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. All right. The elect are not going to take the CHIP, because the elect, whoever they are, see the bigger picture, all right, spiritually. And the Lord is blessing the elect to see certain things and visions, beautiful things, spiritual numbers, orbs, angels cloaked up in your room, moving, chariots in the sky during the day or night. When you're feeling down and you're feeling like SHIT, like you're gonna, you might fall down, you feel like giving up the ghost, the Lord gives you a little breather, gives you a spiritual vision, dream, spiritual number to keep you going, man, quenching your spiritual thirst, so you can keep going. The elect are going to be good, but the rest of the world are going to fall in. The rest of the world are going to fall into the trap. All right. So which aims to improve independence for people who are paralyzed. Okay. And what about those crazy nuts out there? These comic con type characters that want to have spiritual power, especially Edomites. They want to be like Batman and they wear costumes and shit. They're gonna say, "Oh, I've got some money. I've got some money saved up. How much for a CHIP that can make me jump higher, or I can leap a building, or run fast like Captain America? Age gracefully, so to speak. Whatever it could be." Esau's working on these things, man, to bring a lot of people in until they start changing their mind, saying, okay, you can't have these little gifts anymore on the left-hand side. You're just going to have a CHIP just to be under manners and under control. The Lord, remember one thing, these people who take it might think that they're powerful for a second, but Esau Edom has the power to switch buttons on, and they also have power to switch buttons off. Okay? All right? So there's that area there as well. So they basically got you by the balls, so to speak. All right. The 7 patients all had surgeries at UCLH's National Hospital for Neurology and Neurosurgery between October and December 2025 as part of the GB Prime study, evaluating the safety and functionality of Neuralink's BC implant, which is designed to enable interaction with computers through thought. Okay. Telepathy. See, but the Israelites are going to get telepathy. The elect are going to get that naturally, And it's going to be way more advanced than this bullshit technology Esau got. All right, which is real lower level technology. How Bashim Machai just chucked their way, One young patient, which is designed to enable interaction with computers through thought. Okay, I read that. One young patient, Sebastian Gomez. Oh, they had to use an Israelite, right? Sebastian Gomez, obviously a Latino or Portuguese type name. See, they do their trials on you Jakes, and every time they show these kind of trials, they show a lot of you so-called black Hispanic men, usually ethnic-looking men or ethnic-looking people. They have some Edomites there too, but I've noticed that a lot. Look at that. One young patient, Sebastian Gomez, you know, a lot of Latinos will say, hey, look, hey, papi, look, mira, 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 look, you know, they got some of our raza there, whatever they're going to assume. Oh, is he Mexican or is he Puerto Rican? Whatever, they got, hey, man, maybe I should try Holmes, I'm just, yeah, people think like that, you know. One young patient, Sebastian Gomez, a medical student who lost the use of his limbs after a diving accident, shared his story with Sky News. Can you imagine the people out there that are pining for the days when they're in high school, where they could walk on their limbs, when they had the girls swooning after them because they're good-looking dudes or whatever? But now they're in a wheelchair, they ain't getting no pussy or nothing. They want that world back, but they got the money, but they don't have the access to the tools. They're gonna jump forward for this stuff, man. He can now use a computer and mobile phone just by thought, he said. It is a massive change in your life when suddenly you can no longer move any of your limbs. And this kind of technology gives you a new piece of hope. You see that? This is going to be a lot of hope. This is going to be hope for paraplegics, people that can't see, do things, people that can't remember shit, people that want independence from looking after their elders or their disabled children, Girls just want to have fun. They don't want that ball and chain around their ankles, Men that have, men that are somewhat able-bodied, but they've got a wife that's old, or she's up in age, same age, but she's, moving like she's 70 years old, but she's already 50. Men like that want to CHIP their wives so they can have independence and not be a botheration to them, so they can go out and maybe get something new in terms of a woman. I'm just thinking out loud the kind of areas that people are going to be enticed and motivated to use these kind of technologies. But like I said, the kicker and the icing on the cake is going to be the financial aspect of eating and drinking and keeping a roof over your head and keeping your backside washed. All right. Everyone in my position tries to move parts of their body to see if there is any form of recovery. Now I can think of moving my hands to the right, to the left, and the technology understands what I want it to do, and it does it. It does it. So it's working. Okay. I'm just going to scan through it to see if there's anything else nice to read. It just says that UCLH is delighted to lead on this landmark study. We are profoundly grateful to our remarkable patients for their courage and to our outstanding clinical and research teams whose commitment and hard work continue to redefine what is possible in modern medicine. All right. Okay. Okay. What's this say here? N1 what? Note, GB Prime is an early feasibility study that aims to evaluate the safety and functionality of Neuralink's N1 implant. Okay, the N1 implant is a fully implantable intracortical BCI designed to help individuals with severe neurological conditions such as spinal cord injury and motor neuron disease to control devices and communicate more independently with their thoughts. The implant records brain signals through over 1,000 electrodes distributed across ultra-thin threads, which are each finer than a human hair and precisely placed within the brain by Neuralink's purpose-built R1 purpose-built R1 robot. All right. All right. Let me see if there's anything else that I have here. Okay, don't need that. Let me just read Revelation 13:16. We've hit 34 minutes as well. I didn't want to make the video too long. Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Let's go to 17. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. You won't be able to buy or sell without that CHIP. All right. Verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. That's 666. Okay. That barcode. I mean, the barcodes over here, the receipts over here have the 6 at the start and the middle at the end. All right. And that's literally going to be in you. All right. That's the mark of the BEAST. All right. And it's coming. All right. But I'm going to leave it there now. So be patient, Jake. All right. These things are going to happen. All right. Just keep watch out. And remember, these things sometimes you think that things are about to happen and then there's slightly pause for a delay. What did the Lord say? Though it tarry, it shall surely come, right? It's not tarrying anymore. Tarrying meaning delay. It's going to come. All right. And if it does tarry for a slight second, okay, that's only to test out the elect's faith. The people that will lose faith because things are tarrying from their perspective, they're going to fall out. But the rest of the world, they're just going to get caught off guard. We don't give a shit about them anyway. All right. This is all about Yahweh Bashem Yashai, His Majesty, right? Yahweh Bashem Yashai, and underneath Yahweh Bashem Yashai, the elect and across the four corners of the earth. Okay? Lord willing, I said that correctly. All praises, honor, glory, blessings, and power be unto Abano Yahweh, Bahashem Yashai, Bahashem Rakakodash. And also subscribe to our teachers, the men of the Lord, men of Great Millstone. Okay? They're my teachers also, and I urge you, those that are sincere Israelites, Romans 8:16, if your spirit beareth witness, to learn. And if you're a heathen, you're not an Israelite, if you want to know what your outcome's going to be, watch that also. This way you know that your time is short as a heathen and to enjoy the last few seconds you have of your rulership. And I urge you to enjoy Esau, because you're not going to get these, you're not going to get these blessings you have now. Well, most of you lost your blessings, but the ones that still have those good jobs and good money coming in and have an attractive, exotic girlfriend, that's not an Edomite, you Edomites, right? You better enjoy it, because in the kingdom, you're going to have nothing but 500-pound women to deal with, all right? Because none of my slaves are going to have any kind of attractive woman. I'm going to make sure of that, all right? All praises, honor, glory, and blessings and power be to Abano Yahweh Bashem Yashai, Bashem Rakak Wadash, Mawatha Bad Baba, Kwam Yashrala, Shalom.